Firstly, congratulations to England. I'll just turn this down. I'm hearing myself. It sounds bad. Yeah, I'd like to congratulate England. I think they were deserved winners tonight. You had two very, very good sides going at each other, and the team that took the game won the game. So we've got no regrets. I'm very proud of the All Blacks. I think this tournament they've played particularly well, and just on tonight we got beaten by a better side. And sometimes you might find that sport's not fair, but tonight it was. We got beaten by a better side. So congratulations to them. Wish them all the best for what's coming ahead of them. It's an exciting time. To our own side, we're going to have to pick ourselves up and play whomever loses the next game tomorrow. So that's exciting for us. Gives us an opportunity to send this tournament off on a positive note. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Japan for a wonderful, wonderful tournament that's been provided for us to be able to come here and do what we do as rugby nations. So fire away with your questions.
Thank you very much, Steve. Could take the first question here in front row. Thank you.
Steve Hansen and Kieran Read, obviously that's it for both of you career-wise. What is your message to everyone back in New Zealand, starting with you, Kieran?
Look, I'm sure they're disappointed. It's exactly how we're feeling right now in that shed. The best thing that Steve said, we gave our all, gave as much as we had, and today it just came up short. So, we're extremely disappointed by that. But right now it's hard to put things into words.
Yeah, look, I think, having been here in 2007, it's disappointing. Nothing else you can say about that. But I think the big difference in 2007 versus this year is the fact that, we stepped up to the plate today. We played as well as we possibly could. We just got beaten by a better team, and we have to take that on the chin. And as hard as it is to stomach, that's what happens in sport sometimes. And, we see the character of people when they win, and we've got to see the same character when we lose. And, whether we're a fan, a player, or a coach, we've got to stand up and be the same people we are when we win. So, heck of a disappointing. And just your comment about, it's the end of our careers. We've got one more game to go, Paddy. So we'll talk about that when we get that one out of the way.
Thank you. Second question here.
Steve, you said or indicated there that you were happy with the team's performance, that they turned up, but you said that the team that took the game won the game. Why do you think England was so much better tonight?
One, they created the go forward in the game. We struggled to dominate them at set piece time or breakdown time. So when you go forward, you get all the iffy 50-50 decisions, and that's not trying to make an excuse. That's just what happens in the game. You get the scoreboard goes your way, and then you start have to chase it, and you start making fundamental errors like getting offside at breakdowns because you're desperate. You start offloading balls that you probably wouldn't have to if the scoreboard was in your favour, and the guys. That's why I know that they were giving their best and trying. We just got in a situation where England were better than us and dominated the parts of the game that we wanted to dominate, and that's why you got to give them credit.
フリーランスの向井と言います。キアラン・リードさんにお伺いします。最初試合前のハカをするときに相手の陣形を見てどういうふうに感じられたかということと、試合中で、ブレイクダウンでボールを取られたところというのはどういう感触があったのか、そのあたりお願いします。
In regards to haka, it had no impact in the game. I think that's what they wanted to do. That's what they did. And to they, as Steve said, they dominated that breakdown. Their guys did a fantastic job. We couldn't get quick ball, and that's a difference for us. When it got slowed down, we couldn't work into our game, and we're just chasing. So they did a good job there.
Okay. Next one here. Next one over there.
Steve, please. During half-time, which kind of tactical solution or mindset solution did you try to give to the boys?
We talked about not waiting, but actually coming and trying to take the game, try and take it back off them, and I guess we needed to get hungry and desperate before it was too late. And we talked about those things. We talked about how we could do that. Starting to get a little bit more set-piece ball at the line-out. There's a lot of line-outs in tonight's game, and we probably didn't get the platform there that we anticipated. And again, England were very good there. So we had to try and shore that up, and in the second half we did,
Steve, your one selection change from the quarterfinal was to bring Scott Barrett in at 6. Did that backfire on you, or were you happy with it?
Well, look, if I turn around and say it backfired, then Scott's going to feel like, pretty average. So I'm not going to turn around and say it's backfired. So I'll take it on the chin, that one. And Scotty came out and played the best he did. But did we want to win some more line-out ball? Yeah, we did, but we didn't. But it takes more than one person to do that. If we had time again, we might consider doing something different.
Steve, in terms of your reaction to defeat, is this a little bit easier to take because you were outplayed as opposed to 2007 when you might have felt a couple of decisions went against you?
Oh, look, no loss is easy to take. Probably the only reason it's slightly better is it was in the semis rather than the quarterfinal. The boys are desperately hurting, as are the management. You put a lot of time and effort and energy into trying to come to win the thing. But as I said, if you don't achieve what you wanted, what you want to do, you have to put your big boy pants on and stand up and be counted. And it doesn't stop you from hurting. It just means that you've got to accept that what's been chucked at you, and sometimes sports does that to you, and they're a good team, so there's no shame in getting beaten by them. There's a lot of hurt in it, and that hurt or adversity, if you want to call it that, will feed a lot more All Black teams in the future. So we'll find one positive out of it.
Thanks. Right at the back of the room, please. Thank you. Next one here.
Ian, how different was that English defence maybe to the one that you saw 11 months ago at Twickenham last November? Was there any difference that you saw?
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, I think they've done a great job in that area, and you could see tonight that that they were coming forward and targeted certain areas, and that they've got a really good, strong defensive mindset. And you really need to get a lot of opportunities to try to break them down, and you could see that we weren't far away at certain times, but overall they defended with a lot of energy and passion, and clearly they've done a great job in that area. It's went up and congratulated my mate Mitch for that, so they've done a good job there.
So Steve, it seems like there was a lot of mistakes from your side, but was the pressure been affected?
Look, I think there's a lot of mistakes on both sides. Both teams try to play a bit of footy, and when you do that with the defence patterns that were being executed out there, then you're going to be trying to handle the ball under a lot of pressure, and because of that, sometimes there's mistakes. Would we have liked to execute a few things better? Yeah, we would, but it comes back to having that ability to go forward. Not going forward stops you having time and space, and as Foz has just talked about, their defence was very, very good. So another tick to them. Ours wasn't too bad either. They only scored one try themselves.
Kieran, Steve mentioned before, I think you said we needed to get hungry and desperate before it was too late. From your point of view, from the players' point of view, I suppose, did the team turn up with the right attitude tonight?
Yeah, I think we did. You've seen how hard we worked out there. Definitely the boys really wanted it. I think the detail of the match probably, didn't go our way. But no, our work rate and how much we really wanted it was there. You could see it even in that first half, when we conceded, we came back and hung in there. It's, it's just, to be honest, pretty gutting. Just, when it doesn't go your way, it's a hard thing to take. And I know that we're all hurting.
I'd just like to clear that up too, because I think it's quite a disrespectful question to suggest that the All Blacks turned up not being hungry. They're desperate to win the game. Because I've asked them at half-time to get hungrier, doesn't mean to say they didn't turn up to be hungry. There's a big difference. And if you want to spend some time outside, I'll give you a rugby education on that one. But to turn up and say an All Blacks team comes to a semi-final of the Rugby World Cup with the amount of ability and the history that it's had behind it, to say it's not hungry, that's a pretty average question, I reckon.
Okay, last two questions, one here and one there. Thank you.
There were a huge amount of massive hits put on the All Blacks out there, probably more than people have seen for many years in one game. A number of players just poleaxed in some ways. Where did that come from? Is that, where did that come from?
Well, again, when you're getting ball and not going forward, and you're playing a team that's desperate as heck to win a Rugby World Cup, and you can't win it if you don't win the game. So, they had players that were prepared to throw their bodies at our guys, and as you said, there was massive hits both sides of the park. I'm extremely proud of how this All Black team's been, and they've been very, very good for a long, long time. Just tonight we weren't good enough, and that's sport.
Okay. Last question here, thanks.
Kieran, obviously disappointing, but you live for games like this. It was a great game. Were you still able to enjoy the battles you had out there?
In the battle, yes. Not with probably a couple of minutes to go, when you probably knew that was it. But I think it's a semi-final. It's a game that you want to be involved in, and the guys absolutely turned up with as much as we could bring, and we fell short. We'll pick ourselves up because that's what we're going to have to do as All Blacks. But it's it's a hard thing to sit here and try and tell you exactly why it is. But we're short today, and we're hurting because of it, and we'll move on.
Okay, Ian, Steve, Kieran, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.